Hello everyone, this is Mac from JLPTbootcamp.com, and today just going to walk through do a video walkthrough of the N2 So-Matome Grammar book. And if you're not familiar with the So-Matome book series, there's basically 4 books in this series. There's a book for grammar, vocabulary, and reading comprehension, and kanji. And most of these books come in 6 or 8 week courses. So it has activities, it has a page for every day of the week. And at the end of each one of these weeks, there's a review unit on day 7 that goes over all the points. And that's the same formula for all of them: grammar, vocabulary, reading comprehension, and kanji. So they all have the same basic format. If you've gone through one, you're going to be familiar with the rest of the series. And for the grammar book, what they've done is they group together similar grammar in one particular week, or one particular day actually. And this similar grammar can be anything from stuff that sounds the same to stuff that has the same meanings. Things that can get easily confused with each other. It kind of groups together in one day and then tests you over those. And what's really useful about this book is that it'll give you all you really need to know about a grammar point. It'll tell you if it's casual, if it's formal, if it's strong, or if it's just for women, or women mostly use it. It'll also give you the connotation, if you should use this with the negative sentence or a positive sentence. And it'll, of course, give you all the endings. That's really important to look out for. Off to the right side of each grammar point, there's a little dotted box. And don't forget to check those out, because different grammar points have different ways of conjugating, and there's no really global rule for how things are conjugated. So make sure you check those and see how they're conjugated, see how you're supposed to use them in a sentence. That'll really help. And how that'll come up on the test actually is that it'll give you, it used to give you the kind of what came before the grammar point. Now it'll give you on the test the grammar point along with the verb and another grammar point in another verb. So you need to know the conjugation and the correct grammar to use in a particular situation together. That's usually how they test you. So also in this textbook, it offers an English translation of the grammar for all the example sentences. And it'll also give you a Japanese rewording of the particular grammar point. And what I mean by the Japanese rewording is that, for example, just to take the first grammar point in the book, the first grammar point is ge, as in sabeshige, and they've rewritten it as sabeshiso. So it has the same meaning in Japanese. So it'll give you that, and it'll also tend to give you, what the difference is between those two as well. Sometimes there is no difference. So it gives you a lot of information about that. And also every day it'll give you some questions to test you over that particular grammar. And these questions, the first section is usually a choose the right form version of a question. So it'll just give you a choice of A or B, whether that's correct or not. Or it'll give you some sentences, and you have to choose whether those sentences are written correctly or not. So you have to correct those sentences. And it'll also give you every day 2 scrambled sentence examples. And if you're not familiar with the scrambled sentences, you really need to take a look at these before you get to the test, because this isn't your typical way of thinking about sentences. And on the test, they will challenge you with different endings and what kind of vocabulary to use in what spots. So make sure you're comfortable unscrambling these sentences before you get into the test, and it gives you some really good practice there in the bottom part. I did the N3 textbook for this, and I felt really prepared for the N3 test. So I recommend the N2 version of this textbook as well. And at the end of the week, after you've gone through 6 days of grammar points, and each day usually has about 4 grammar points on it, after you've done that, on the 7th day there's a review test. The review test has 3 sections. It starts off with what you're basically going to see on the N2 test. Multiple choice. Choose one of 4 answers to put into the blank of the sentence. It's going to give you some scrambled sentences to unscramble. And then on the very last page, there's a context exercise. So it'll give you a reading, and you have to choose the correct grammar to put into that reading, into that context. And that'll help you with some grammar at this level. There's some grammar that needs context in order to really be fully understood where to use it. So test that as well. So that's pretty cool. And of course, at the very back, there is an index that helps you look up your specific grammar point if you want to go back later and try to find something, so you can use it as a reference book as well. So it's kind of laid out as a course, and you can use it as a reference book to help you with some grammar. Includes both. So you can pick that up at White Rabbit Express, or Amazon in Japan, or Amazon.com in Japan, or a major bookstore in a major metropolitan area in Japan would probably also have these books. Like a big Kinokuniya or a big Book First. Those kinds of bookstores would have these kinds of books somewhere in a foreign, the Nihongo section. So check those out, and let me know what you think of them in the comments.